What up, YouTube dudes? And I'm back, and I'm talking about one of my favorite characters from when I was a young boy. When I say young boy, I mean 13, 14, not too young. And that character is Marvel's SpeedBall. Now, sounds like a weird name, like a drug of some kind, but no, it's not. It's that mass Avenger, that mass Marvel, you know, the one that bounces around like some type of crackhead. SpeedBall. Yeah, man, he's an OG, man. He's been around for a long time. I think he first appeared in Spider-Man. He got his powers, I think, if I recall, an experiment of some kind. He was like a lab assistant, got blasted with some type of radiation, and then he got like these kinetic powers that made it so he basically bounced off stuff, you know. In the beginning, it was pretty lame. He like hit his fist or any type of snap of his fingers or pretty much any type of contact other than a handshake would set his powers off, and it was pretty dumb. That lasted for a few issues, and then they gave him more control over his powers. So eventually, you know, he hit his fist, or he activated his powers more of his own conscious thought rather than being hit or forced on accident, which is stupid anyway. So yeah, they matured the character a little bit, and gave him his own comic book for a while. Semi-successful, but I believe SpeedBall was more meant to be part of like a team, so they put him in the New Warriors, and that's where he really began to flourish. Yeah, I'd say yeah, that was probably like the best SpeedBall time is when he was with the New Warriors and they first started. It was just a great comic book at that time. So as you know, SpeedBall later on, he left and did a few other things, and they brought the New Warriors back supposedly as like a reality show, and SpeedBall was there and a couple other new characters, and I guess they were like tracking down like this really bad villain named Nitro, and they tracked him to a school, and as you know, Nitro blew himself up. That's what Nitro did. He exploded himself. He blew himself up and killed 600 people along with 60 students, which started off the whole Marvel Civil War thing, which was also a great read. If anybody out there that's a comic book fan has not read it, which I doubt, check it out. Anyway, so that started off the whole Marvel War, Civil War, which tore the community in half. And it was basically, I mean, when you get down to it, it was all because of them. And I think SpeedBall himself had like a real big part of it. I'd have to go back and read it, but if I believe it was kind of like his fault, like he might have did something that triggered Nitro to blow himself up, I'd have to go. But I know he took it really hard on himself, them 60 kids that died. And that made him, and somehow his powers like changed drastically. And he became, some would say, more powerful. I didn't like it myself. It was kind of like too hardcore and stupid for me. Like, oh, I gotta hurt myself. I'm mad. I'm upset. So I'm gonna be a depressed teenage boy and I'm gonna pout around. No, I didn't like it, man. I mean, I understand that he was going through his own thing in his mind, and he was having like this traumatic issue with dealing with the fact that he was if not directly responsible, but definitely had a hand in the death of these children and these people. But I don't know, they took it to a whole nother level, and therefore he put this suit on, and it hurt, like cut him and poked him, and like I guess his powers basically only worked when he was exposed to pain, which was stupid itself. I don't know. Anyway, so that was that. And they did a 6-part miniseries where he tracked Nitro down and then put the costume on Nitro where the cops found him, and he walked off without his costume, if I remember correctly. Okay, so then he somehow ended up at the mansion, X-Men's mansion maybe, or Avengers mansion, I don't know. He was teaching kids, and I guess now, as of is now, he has both Penance powers and SpeedBall powers. So as Penance, he could like, he was basically blowing stuff up and shooting blast, and I don't know, it's explosive in nature, his power. And at Speedball, it was more of like, I don't know. So it went from like, Penance was more like an aggressive, like, attack power. And Speedball was more like, you know, defense, bouncing around. It wasn't as hardcore and major as Penance. But now, he has both sets of powers. So he has Speedball powers and Penance powers. And in my opinion, that's where he should stay. He should stay just like that because he's powerful now. He has both sets of powers. He's moody. He's not that little happy boy that he was when he was Speedball. And he's more of a man now. He's matured. I like that. Stay exactly like this. I don't want them to change Speedball anymore. And Penance was a dumb name. I didn't like that name either. Speedball, stay that way, man. I like Speedball the way he is now. I mean, I loved him when he was a kid. And he was you know, bouncing around, and that was who he was. But I was young then too. Now I'm 40, and I like the mature version that we have, and I hope they keep it that way. And they need to do more with Speedball, man. Give him a comic book, at least a series. Let him do something. You know, he's a character that I feel is being wasted right now. I've always liked underdog characters. You know, I mean the main characters are good. They serve their purpose, but to me, Marvel is shining at its most when they're developing their back characters and their stories and letting me see the whole universe. And Robbie Baldwin is he's a part of that universe. Speedball, man. He was an amazing character, and he is like pretty much the New Warriors when I think of him. I think of New Warriors, I think of Speedball, Nova, Night Thrasher, and yeah, they're great comic characters, and it's a great read. So if you don't know who Speedball is, I hope I got a chance to teach you something new about Marvel comic books. If you do know who Speedball is, I hope I got to take you on a journey to the past and make you think about what it used to be like. Comic books still are amazing, but you know, if you don't remember the past, you know what I mean? They say something like that. Anyway, I know comics. I am nobody. Hit me up. Let me know in them comic books if you remember Speedball and if you love him. I loved him, man. He was a great guy. Later.